Hello everyone, I invite you to every Wednesday review of the leading cryptocurrencies. Let's start by checking the current situation on the BTC to USDT chart, taking into account the 1-hour time frame. It is worth starting here by marking the local upward trend line with the yellow line, which, as you can see, has kept the price from falling further for the fourth time. After turning on the EMA cross 10 and 30 indicator, we will see the red line 10 crossing the green EMA cross 30 line from below, which confirms the local upward trend. Looking at the current growth, we will unfold the trend-based fib extension grid to identify potential resistance points. And here you can see that we are approaching the resistance level of $43,752. Then we have resistance at $44,130. And then strong resistance around $44,613. Looking at the RSI indicator, there is still room for the price to make a larger upward move. But lower on the stock indicator, we can see that we have exceeded the upper limit, which may have the opposite effect and the price will recover. Taking into account the trend change scenario, we will again use the grid to determine the support at which the price may stop. And here we can see significant support at the level of $43,069. While further we should consider the support zone from $42,454 to $42,125. Now let's move on to the chart of ETH in pair with USDT, also on a 1-hour time frame. First of all, using the yellow line, we will determine the downward trend from which the price came out on top. And locally, after the declines, it has created an upward trend channel, in which it is fighting to come out on top again. Now let's move on to marking resistance spots by looking at the current rally. And here, when we spread the trend-based fib extension grid, we can see the price. It is again fighting against the resistance at $2,341. There is still resistance at $2,378, which rejected the increase last time, but if the price comes out on top, it will move towards the strong resistance at $2,439. Looking the other way, we can mark places and supports in the same way. To do this, we will unfold the net again in the other direction, thanks to which we will see a support zone from the level of $2,307 to the level of $2,280. But if the zone is broken, it may result in a decline to the next support level at $2,239. Please look at the RSI indicator. We can determine the downward trend lines, which have some room left. However, on the stock indicator, similarly to the BTC chart, we are moving above the upper limit, which slows down the current growth and may also translate into a price recovery. Third, we will check the BNB chart also on a 1-hour time frame. However, here we will start by marking with blue lines a strong downward trend channel in which we have been moving for a long time, currently in the upper part. Moreover, we can mark here the zones that can be seen to have an effective impact on the price. There is a clear support zone, as well as a resistance zone for the price in the long term at the top. However, locally, using the yellow line, we will determine a local upward trend where the price is struggling to stay. Let's now move on to marking the support areas for the price, and after unfolding the fib retracement grid, we can see that first of all we have support around $303, which currently holds the price, but if we go lower, it is worth marking an important support zone from $293 to $287. Looking the other way, we can similarly determine the resistance areas that the price must face. And here we see that currently the zone from $309 to $314 has effectively stopped the growth, but if it is overcome, we can see an upward movement towards the strong support level of $321.70. Looking at the RSI indicator, you can see a return to the middle of the range, which quickly results in a downward reflection, because on the stock indicator, a strong upward impulse resulted in a reversal in a similar place to the last one, and what's more, we can mark the trend line at which the indicator turned around. The last one on today's list is the DOT chart. Here, using the yellow line, we will define a strong downward trend line. And in the same way, we can mark an upward trend from which the price broke out with a downward movement. Going further, we can move on to marking support areas when we start a larger correction. And here the first support is at the price of $6.79. The second support is at the price of $6.47, while the exit from the bottom may result in a drop to the strong support level of $5.98. Looking the other way, we see that the price is bouncing off the resistance at $6.87. But further, we should take into account the strong resistance zone from $7.15 to $7.30, right next to our previously defined downward trend line. The RSI indicator shows room for growth, but here a downtrend line can be identified, which may result in a decline again. And when we look at the stock indicator, we will see that it has approached the upper limit, which may also result in a price drop. Technical analysis is provided by a third party, and for informational purposes only. It does not reflect the views of CryptoDaily, nor is it intended to be used as legal, tax, investment, or financial advice.